Now this is one of the coolest budget accessories that was sent to me. Spectacular! Okay, so full disclaimer, TELESIN sent me this for free, they want me to review it, and they've given me creative freedom as well as integrity. So what this accessory is essentially, it's a lazy Susan and it's got AI face tracking. This little unit here actually does have a few different shooting modes, but in order to toggle them, you have to use their remote. We'll cover the remote a bit later. So in addition to that AI face tracking, the other different modes are a 360 revolution clockwise.
I'm not creative enough to use this properly.
And of course a 360 revolution counterclockwise. You've also got manual controls via the remote where you can spin it left or right. And unfortunately in the user manual there was meant to be a time-lapse setting, but after doing some research on the website it looks like it's not included. And this bad boy is intended for smaller cameras. It can support a weight of up to 500 grams. It supposedly has a battery life of up to 5 hours, but I'll test that out now.
Now I tried this test a few times and for whatever reason after 10-15 minutes it would stop, and it wasn't because of low battery.
Quick update, it's the day I was meant to upload. I actually went ahead and got a separate battery just to test out the remote one more time. I was trying to see, what is the actual battery life on this. And what's happened is I figured out the remote is it's just completely dead. It doesn't work regardless of battery. But not to worry, you can see I actually have face tracking on this enabled, and that's because there's a button on the back which you can toggle it on and off. You only lose access to the left, right, clockwise and counterclockwise options.
Inconclusive, but I do like that they have a USB-C charging port.
And there's also a 1/4 inch screw on the base. Now we're up to the remote. This thing is as cheap as it gets, but to be honest, you don't really need anything fancy for a remote. The only complaint I have is the on-off button. I always forget to turn it on, I always forget to turn it off. I hate it. That might be a me problem. And for the purpose of the review, I'm going to be focusing more on the actual gimbal itself rather than the remote control. Which takes us to the good. The face tracking does indeed work. I was quite skeptical at this price point to get some good face tracking, but my field tests show otherwise.
And this is even against the sun. I even tried with 2 people and to be honest I had mixed results, but this is only intended for 1 person. Also don't mind me staring at the camera, I don't know.
Hey guys, I'm just going to do a general test. I'm setting up a monopod here and turning this on. So guys, what I've got here is a TELESIN mount. It's set up around chest height and I've got my ZV-1 on here. I'm just going to walk from left to right. And you can see it's tracking pretty well. You know what, I'm even going to walk and do a loop-de-loop around here so you can see my setup. But the camera is tracking well. This is around chest height. Even if I were to turn 90 degrees and walk this way, you'll notice that the camera still follows me, which is good. Now let's test it at lower heights. I'm doing it maybe around hip height. This is where I thought it would not work, but it still actually works at hip height, which I really wonder what the focal length of this is, because TELESIN don't actually tell you what's the field of view. Look, oh, when I get within maybe a meter of this, it starts to work not work, of course. But if I take a step back, I'm only 2 meters away, it's around hip height, it's very low, but TELESIN's doing a great job at tracking it.
Wow, let's set it on the floor now.
Right now it's set up on the ground. I'm gonna walk 1, 2, 3 steps. Does it track? No. Let's try another one. 4 steps. Nope. Oh, shit. It's tracking at 4 steps, which, oh, how much? Maybe 3 to 4 meters. Oh, it stopped tracking. Damn it. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit sketch, but I also don't know if it's because I got people behind me.
I'm actually glad that it works over various different heights, because when you're out and about, you don't actually know, where can I rest this if I don't have a monopod? Perhaps there's a tree or even some stairs. Who knows? But it covers quite a wide range of heights. I'm still surprised at how cheap this is. My hopes honestly were not high given how cheap it was, but it works well. But on the topic of cost, yes, it is indeed cheap, But what limitations does it have?
The bad. There's definitely a lack of smartphone app. There could have been crucial features which should have been included. It would have been great to see the field of view of the camera, and I also did think multi-face support would have been good, but I'm not sure how that would even work out. However, I would have also loved to see a time-lapse mode and a toggle to slow or increase the speed of spinning.
When you're rotating, there will be a jitter every time you stop.
And depending on your camera, you might hear the motor. This is my Osmo Action. The handsome.
Would I recommend this? I'm a bit on the fence. I think if you're a solo traveler and you intend to travel solo, make videos by yourself, this is a great way to avoid those static shots. You can get some nice dynamic panning shots, so I do think it's a good alternative. But that's only because it's cheap. It's even cheaper if you use coupon code HANDSOME on the TELESIN website for 10% off, and it helps bridge the gap towards an Osmo Pocket. However, if you're not a solo traveler on a budget, it's not for you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It does take quite some time to make these videos, so a subscribe is appreciated.